Boom. All right, man. We back.
We are back.
Like we never left.
But we did for a minute.
But we definitely did. Libra season, oddly enough.
Yeah,
The odd
right.
season.
Yeah, no, both our birthdays, life accomplishments and shit
Yeah, man.
happening. It was a
Got
lot
the
going on. My boy
got
is a married man now.
yeah, man. So first of all, welcome to Building with Mars and Big Esco. Uh,
Right.
um,
Hello, neighbors.
welcome back. I'm Big Esco. This is Mars. Like Mars was saying, Mars was in part of my wedding. It's one of my groomsmen.
Mm-hmm.
Got married to my
Mm-hmm.
beautiful wife Alexia. Shout out to her for saying yes. It wouldn't have been
Shout
much of a
out to her
marriage
for saying yes. I
if
like
she didn't say yes. Well, not much of a marriage without that.
that.
you know. Um, so yeah, man, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
My dream came true. He DJ'd. I had the triple Libra set. Shout out to our girl
Yeah, yeah,
Trey
yeah,
Hit.
yeah. Trey Hits,
You
who
know,
also just is coming off of a crazy ass fucking set opening for Zach Fox.
yeah,
I
man.
wish I was home for it, Alex. You see this clip, just know I already showed you love, but definitely proud of you, G. You smashing. You doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah, word around town is she set it off like Zach Fox opener. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
dropped the momentum a little bit after Trey hit. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay,
real
okay.
deal, real deal.
Nice. I
So
like that.
yeah, shout out to her for sure. But yeah, man, we getting back into a full swing of things. We in our fall rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot that's going on that we even just taking that little month off. So much stuff has happened. So
Mm-hmm.
we can jump right into it. Let's start off. It's Sunday right now on this recording.
Right.
Luckily for me on Thursday, Lamar Jackson came back to football. So
Oh no, that was awesome. It was getting busy too. Getting
yeah. So
busy, brother.
I don't know if I'm gonna win my fantasy, but it's good to at least have my top quarterback back.
Right. Oh,
Uh,
that's right. He was your fantasy quarterback.
yeah, man, it's been rough. It's been rough. It's
Yeah,
been rough without
yeah,
him.
yeah.
But no, NFL is in full swing. NBA
hmm
has kicked off.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
it's in full swing. How you been? How you? Oh, and last night the Dodgers won the
Oh,
World
yeah,
Series.
yeah.
I was
No, it's
watching that
been
super long game too, so I was tapped in a little bit. I was watching the 18 inning joint.
yeah, that was a doozy. I definitely went in and now every time I would go back, I'm like, damn, the game's still going. The
Yeah,
game's still going.
I went to sleep at the bottom of the 12th,
Okay.
and I was like, damn, they went 18 innings.
Right. That's valid. But no, I would this has probably been one of the more, I guess, kind of epic sports months. Like October is already my favorite month. I don't know if it's yours. I imagine it might be too, for obvious reasons. But when you getting like the hockey coming back, the World Series, football getting in full swing, basketball's back, college football's picking up, college hoops is right around the corner. We right off the last leg. Did some of the WNBA finals happen in the top of October, or
It
was it the
feels
back
like it
end?
did
Yeah, it was
all
just a
that same
lot
time.
a lot of motion. But this one was also cool because the NBA season, as you mentioned, like it's the new layout, the new media landscape of everything kicked off this year. It was pretty epic, bro. I know we kind of talked off of the screen or whatnot. Like NBC definitely took it. Like they came back with some of
Okay,
the vintage nostalgia. I loved like the promo where they had like the older OG, like already established Hall of Famers with some of like the new stars and doing like that side by side. And it's crazy because like we are in an age between the OGs as well as like the young stars. So we can recall some of like that NBC and all of that from back in the day. But it's actually crazy looking at cats like SGA and at like literally not knowing because for some of them, they weren't even alive for some of those members. It's like, wow, the game is really like different now. But on a media tip, man, it's been awesome. Like I know I've always kind of been a little critical of Prime. I like what they've been doing with that new QB angle. I talked to you about that as well. Look like playing the video game. So like they stepped up the viewer kind of situation over there with the NFL, but also like they're doing pretty well with the NBA coverage as well. I like their production. I like their commentators. I like all of that. The team over there is really good. The only people that was kind of been a disappointment so far, which I miss Stan, Kenny, Shaq. Ernie, but I'm not about to bend the knee and do the whole ESPN situation. I know we had an episode where we talked about the
Well,
Union Wars and all of that, but that's the only one because I like them over there, but I'm not about to bite just yet. They gotta maybe Thanksgiving.
I think I'm kind of on the other side. I thought that Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and Dirk and them. Well, Dirk
Mm-hmm.
is on Prime, or is he on
He's on
NBC?
Prime. Yeah, he's on Prime.
Okay, so
And
Vince
then T
Carter,
Mac and Vince Carter, they're on
Vince
NBC.
Carter, T Mac, and Carmelo on
Mm-hmm.
NBC. Terrible to me.
Really?
Terrible.
Really?
They're
Why you say that?
terrible because they're being professional.
You don't like that?
No, I want them to. That's not their basketball personality.
Okay, okay.
To me, the reason that you get athletes into the broadcasting booth is because
Mm-hmm.
they're bringing something from the huddle.
Damn.
They're bringing something from the timeout. They're bringing something from the
Mm-hmm.
court.
Okay.
Them being there like professional selves, and they're, you know,
I feel you.
I'm
I
not
feel
mad
you.
at them, but it's boring to watch.
That's
Especially when they've shown parts like Carmelo in particular has shown so much more of his personality on his show.
yep,
Now,
yep, yep, yep.
obviously, I know he can't talk the same, but
Right, right.
I don't know. It just feels a little sterile, and I know it's new. So maybe by
Yeah,
Christmas, maybe by Valentine's Day, it'll be different. And
that
then
was
I feel the same about Prime. I feel like
mhm,
Prime, it's very sterile. I don't enjoy it. ESPN with Kenny, Shaq, and the new Inside the
yeah,
NBA. It's been hard to just remember that they're on there,
mhm.
but they've been good, especially because the league has had so much parity to me. Like it's a little different, but they to me picked off where they left off at as far as
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah,
quality of the
yeah.
show. But I just feel like the other like streamers has kind of just fallen flat to me. So much so that local broadcasts are much better to me now. Like
Interesting. Okay,
if
okay.
you're watching a random Utah Miami game and you got the local Miami or you got the local Utah, so much better to me as far as just like a flow entertainment standpoint of the players versus, so a lot of people don't like Reggie Miller
Right, right, right.
broadcasting. I
I
actually
fuck
do.
with him. Yeah,
I
yeah, I
actually
fuck
do
with
like Reggie Miller's broadcasting because it's entertaining. He feels like he's your uncle watching the game in the room with you. And I
but
know
your
maybe
uncle
that's
that's really cold at hooping. Like damn near
yeah,
your
he's
uncle that
really
did
into
go to the league.
you know what I'm saying? But he's really fun and just energetic on game day, courtside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
So I think they got to figure some of that continuity out.
no, I agree with you. For me, I still, bam, 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 how I feel, but I do think it's a matter of the comfort level. Like, because as you mentioned, like Melo knows how he kind of sucks. I also feel like Cass be feeling a little more free and loose, like on NBA TV or something like that. I think it is like the bright lights of NBC. It might also be production, the network themselves with some rules and like brand guidelines. It could be all whatever type of stuff behind the scenes, but I do think it's a level of like comfortability and flow. But I think they'll get the hang of it because on the other side, like when what was it, the Michael Jordan joint when he was talking about load management, like that was
Oh yeah,
awesome because or even the first game when like Chet Holmgren came out after the game or whatever and like showed off the ring, like because I loved all three of them as players. Like those are some of my overall like favorite players in NBA history or
for
whatever
sure.
from growing up, and like there's a particular kind of like, for lack of a better term, like innocence or like bright eyedness when like certain moments come up because it's like they didn't win a title. Like you can't talk specifically about that, even though like yes, all Hall of Famers, like niggas got gold medals, highly accomplished, all time scoring lists, all this other type of stuff. Very much so have very valid opinions on the shit and can still do a lot of niggas in on the court. I feel like if they were still out there right now, but like yeah, like Shaq is all-time GOAT with several rings.
Yeah,
There like Kenny got his ring, so he can kind of talk his little shit. And like Charles Barkley is literally one of the greatest players of all time. He should have actually got a ring, but he don't. But they've been on that show for so long that I feel like all of that comfort in that meshness and like the unspoken things have already kind of been said, so it don't even really matter. But now it's like a new crop of cats that's out here. Like I like Jamal Crawford as a commentator.
he's
Like
very good.
yeah, yeah, it's how
Jamal
you like
Crawford's
shit
very good.
things. So I think it is interesting, but it's all very fresh and new. But like seeing all of these like faves and like really dope all-stars and like cold niggas from when we grew up actually being able to talk some shit. And mind you, these are also the young generation's new OGs and favorite players as well
That's
that
real
they
too.
listen to. So that'd be interesting. And I like the Michael Jordan thing. I don't know if it's Emmy worthy just yet. We're gonna need some better interviews, but I like the fact that I thought he was actually gonna be doing real game commentary from time to
Oh,
time,
I
but
knew he wasn't gonna do that.
he
I knew he
was
wasn't gonna do that.
all star or something. But
I
it's cool
guess,
that they're still talking to him.
and there hasn't been any new players in particular, like any new play. He's not talking about like he's talking about the
Mm,
league in general. I
yeah,
heard
yeah, yeah.
Bill Simmons say he probably thinks that he just recorded like a 3 hour interview and they're just chopping it up
Yep, that's what
about
it
the
feels like.
things. That's what it feels like, which to me is a little less cool. And I guess that's why I'm saying, like, no, we need MJ in the Skype on the Zoom.
Right,
MJ,
right, right.
this
Would
week
love that. Would
LeBron's
love
out. You know what I'm saying? Like, as an
right,
older
right, right,
player, what you think about LeBron's retirement? That's what we want to know. I don't want to.
right,
I want to
right,
know what you think
right.
about SGA being in the mid range.
Mm-hmm,
What do you think
mm-hmm.
about Steph Curry shooting? Who was a shooter back in your day you think could have competed with him on that level? That's what we
Right,
want to hear
right,
from MJ.
right.
We don't want to hear him talk about load management. Like he played 82 games. We know what MJ
Right,
thinks
right.
about load
We know
management.
you also are a sicko, nigga. And God bless you that you didn't actually have no crazy season in the injuries, but like that's actually wild that you
I
put
mean,
that.
he did. I mean, people forget MJ broke his foot and early in his career. MJ
Oh,
broke
yeah,
his
yeah,
foot.
yeah.
People forget
Yeah, I was
that.
about to say it was like that was shit, nigga. I
First year,
wasn't paying
first two
attention.
years. No, you
I
wasn't even
wasn't even
born.
born.
Wasn't even born when he broke his foot. You know what I'm saying? And he had so much career after we were
Yeah,
born. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I will give you. I'm super optimistic about the new season.
Mm-hmm.
New seasons got to catch up on Prime Friday. This day,
Right, right, right,
that
right,
part has been
right.
hard for me, but I'll get there. What I do want to ask you is, what's your take on the gambling incidents? We talk a lot about the gambling sponsorships.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
just real quick, like just kind of what's your thoughts? How much negativity do you really think that puts on the league, or is it more like a couple bad apples?
I personally think that this shit runs very deep already. I don't doubt that that's not the case. I don't want a bunch of niggas to go to jail either. I'm not like so much of a like deep fan where I'm angry and I'm talking about it kills the sport and all this other shit. It's definitely niggas out there that still want to win and get buckets. Like the game isn't over. But yeah, if you get a random like bench player or like some nigga that half the league don't even really know the name of for real, and he doing like inside that shit look like insider trading. So I'm more so disappointed about like hell. Well, I'm not surprised by KG, but like a Chauncey Billups situation. And I was like, I'm like, damn, bro. Like Chauncey, his brand was kind of one of the good guys, and that niggas always be one way out front and bad. But I don't even know. They could have coerced Buddy into it or some shit like that. We literally don't know until things happen because the mob do kind of work in mysterious ways. But I think this is all a byproduct of how loose and open and like barely regulated we've allowed sports shit to be. I know we were even talking about regulations at some point anyway, how it impacts the industry. So we can maybe dig a little deeper if that ever comes up. But yeah, bro, we didn't kind of let a bull loose that we can't really contain at this point, and it's very hard from like literally compromising the games through athletes and coaches all the way to like the really fucked up growing addiction that like a lot of people, not even just young people, but like young boys are really going through it. And it's grown ass men like literally betting the house and shit. So I don't know. It's tough. I'm not anti the shit as a parlay player myself, but something needs to get cleaned up.
Yeah, I think that you make a good point around the addiction part for young men.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think that we ran into a situation to where people forgot why we stopped sports betting. Like
Mm.
sports betting wasn't around for so long in so many different generations, like that people don't know the degeneracy that it built.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So people are like, oh, it couldn't be
Mhm.
that bad. And now we're about to see it. And now, these aren't the only players betting. This isn't the only thing that's going on. It's got to be going on in all the leagues because, like
Yeah.
you said, there's so many people that are close to the leagues Like your brother could be betting.
Right,
You're
literally,
not
quite
talking to your
literally.
brother about what's going on at work, who loves basketball or football or baseball too. Of
Right,
course
it's
you are.
literally your brother.
Of
Like,
course
what
you
are you
are.
talking
You know what I'm
about?
saying?
Yeah.
So are we gonna get down to it like that, which is a little bit closer to like government actual stock inside trading?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
but it is really baffling. And now that the leagues have opened that Pandora's box, like you said, it's gonna be hard for them to take it back because it is so much money, good money
mhm,
that they making
mhm,
off of it.
mhm.
Is there a way to change it? I don't think so. How do we start to give better education to these young men that are really into it, the high school, college age? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
because it's a slippery slope and it's so fun. The games are so good.
It
You're
is.
so
It is.
invested.
It is. It is.
It's a thing that's really hard to regulate and tell people to, but as marketers, are we gonna see like a backlash to it in the same way we saw like with tobacco? We grew up with the truth campaigns.
Mhm, mhm,
Is Nickelodeon gonna take that same approach as they push football to the younger kids? You
mhm.
grow up, you hit that natural age. Okay, maybe you switch over to now you watch ESPN and everything is ESPN bet. Now you're
Right,
watching Sports Center learning
right.
how to bet, learning the over
Mhm.
under. You have the sports bet expert explaining who to pick. I can't say that I would have been above not trying to get my older cousin to sign
Right,
up
right, right,
or
right.
asking my dad, like,
Right,
"Hey,
right, right. I got
sign up."
$5.
Yeah, dude,
Right.
sign up and I'll pick the unders. Like, what's up?
Mhm,
It's a
mhm.
slippery slope. That's
Yeah.
a slippery slope.
No, for sure. I mean, I the way when I got into fantasy football probably 15 years ago at this point, it's so crazy how long I actually been playing fantasy. But and that really made me pay attention to football even more just because I was invested in the game trying to win in fantasy. Is that, but also with real money on the line. Now, granted, I'm in cash leagues and fantasy now too, but
Not
like
the same. Not the
that
same.
parlay just hit different. And I think there's like I know more people that do sports betting than I do know that play fantasy football, like for sure. There's
For
more people out
sure.
there that's like on the parlay picking versus like the fantasy or
Yeah.
whatnot. So it's a lot more like widespread. Like you have celebrities like showing they fucking like stacks and shit. Like
Bruh, when
it's
I
like
got a
it's
damn Smino
crazy.
ad for sports dog betting or sports dog
Oh, I do
fantasy or
remember
something,
that. I was like, oh yeah, they paying
I'm like,
everybody right
what
now.
does Smino know about basketball?
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
Smino know about touchdowns. I'm like,
Right, right,
oh man,
right,
they
right,
really trying
right,
to get
right.
you. Nelly was one thing. I seen Nelly do the underdog
I
fan, one
did.
of
I
them,
saw that one. Yeah.
FanDuel or something. But then I seen Smino. I'm like, oh, y'all really just giving the money to anybody. That
Right,
ain't even his
right,
brand.
right. Right, exactly. It's kind of like when they did the rush for crypto a couple of years ago and like
Very
just paying a
similar.
bunch of celebrities. We got $10,000 for you to do a post real quick, bro. Like that ain't nothing,
What
especially
the
when they bringing
hell
in
does Meg the
billions.
Stallion know about Bitcoin?
Right, exactly, exactly. Hell, Snoop Dogg, but
That's a
that's a whole
whole
another
nother
one.
story.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think that's kind of like the whole, like I say, the regulation situation.
Yeah, let's build
We're
on
in
that a
a
little bit.
tough space kind of right now politically anyway with just the government shutdown and like snap and all of this stuff, but I know we were talking about even just kind of like how some of these government in general just like relates to us because sometimes it is kind of directly with like approving a merger and acquisition, like those types of things impact the industry from a big merger happening with some very large holding companies right now. And if they were to combine together, they would be the largest media buyer in the world. And all the FCC has to do is like approve that shit. And it's coming down to it all the way over to like government regulations on things like sports betting. And one, the amount of money and sponsorship dollars that might go into sports and marketing and media, but also like how that permeates through an ad agency or activations or influencers and all these other various things. The government is kind of like there, even though they're not in the office, there are a lot of rules that are impacting what we do on a daily basis. Like tariffs is a whole nother thing. Like Walmart and Amazon have to move different. They might have literally had to change their strategy based off the fact that they don't know what the cost of goods is going to be. So like this stuff is kind of wild with Snap being cut off in the background, government shut down in the background, potential war going on. He's now talking about Nigeria Venezuela, we bombing this, bombing that. He mentioned Greenland earlier. Like it's so much stuff that goes on, and I think it is very hard for brands to know what to do, especially in an administration that it seems like a lot of these executives are just scared that he will come after you, so they don't do anything, and
Yeah.
that's just a tough position to be
Well, when you talk about the mergers,
in.
really big news in the comic book world because everybody wants to know, well, whoever buys Warner Brothers is going to be in charge of DC,
Right.
who's going to own whatever James Gunn is cooking up over there. And it
Mm-hmm.
just came out recently that Netflix is actually potentially in the bidding
Yeah.
war.
Yeah. Yeah.
After
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
came out a week ago and said they wouldn't be, it's
Mm-hmm.
been news has popped up that they would be. And it's really interesting to kind of see everybody just go back to the cable package method. And when you talk about that
Mm-hmm.
and what that method built in terms of as far as the FCC goes and monopolies,
Mm-hmm.
it created somewhat of a system that kind of would not blur those lines as much. And then
Mm-hmm.
everybody started to make their own streamer. And then now they're consolidating on the back end. You're kind of
Mm-hmm.
getting back to monopolies in a weird way because
Right. Right.
if one
Right.
person just buys all the IP, then they own Hollywood basically. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think I saw something talking about a judge saying that Trump can't technically withhold the SNAP funds.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
saw that,
but
but
people's regular shit is going to be disrupted. I just
mm-hmm.
say that to say as brands, your Pepsi, your Coca-Cola, your chips, your milk, even,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're these daily items, but you don't have an opinion on anything.
Right.
And you go in and out of the ebbs and flows. And for the first time, we're seeing a flow that doesn't really flow with everybody in what we usually call the general market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And since everybody was willing to not do diversity and inclusion, and since everybody was kind of willing to uh tiptoe around the elephant in the room when it comes to like the visceral kind of situation that we're in politically,
Mm-hmm.
now, like you said, no, it feels like nobody's saying anything.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even you look at a brand like Ben and Jerry's, like, I don't know if people actually boycott Ben and Jerry's because they don't believe what they believe, but I know people like ice cream, they like Ben and Jerry's.
Right.
But a
Right.
lot
Right.
of the time
Right.
are not. And Ben and Jerry's is very vocal and outgoing about what they
Mm-hmm.
stand for. And so, because to me, so many brands are playing the middle ground, now you have a situation where I don't feel like brands are saying anything because they don't want to disrupt or be disruptive to maybe, I guess, the administration. That's what would be my guess. There we go. I think I lost you for a second there.
Yeah. 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 I'm back now though.
Yeah. But all I was saying is just like when brands don't really take a stand, it feels
Mm-hmm.
like right now brands aren't saying anything. And
Right. Right.
now
Right.
they're
Right.
having to be responsive to the tariffs, raising prices, and trying to switch their narratives and try to just continue to fit into people's carts as they're having
Right.
to make these everyday decisions. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that leaves a lot of brands. It feels like after this Trump presidency, a lot of brands are going to get swallowed up due to the tariffs, due to the price of inflation, and they're just not going to exist anymore. And it's just going to
Yeah.
be whoever can spend the most money.
Yeah, I mean, what that so a couple of things because yes, agree with you. So it's wild that you mentioned the thing about brands kind of taking a stance on things because even with this whole like kind of post woke, post DEI era that we're in, because Trump and them are in office, I just was looking at a fucking survey like a week or so ago, bro. The overwhelming majority of at least millennials and Gen Z, who pretty much are dictating the market right now, like nobody gives a shit about what boomers and Gen X thinks about like what brands are saying or doing. But for the younger generations, they still overwhelmingly prefer brands who actually take a stand. That's how you differentiate yourself in the market, bro, by simply not doing anything. And now we looking at, I don't know, 3 different soaps or 3 different sneakers, and you're just a regular runner, and maybe you might not be a sneakerhead. And when you sitting up there and looking and choosing between what you're going to get, I mean, maybe if you feel like you got a little taste of something like that, you might choose what you think looks best on you. But if it really is like, oh, this is like an On shoe, a Hoka shoe, and a Nike shoe, you either gonna go with the brand that you recognize the most, i.e., Nike, or you're gonna be looking around maybe for a new little kind of disruptor brand that you see the people copping. So you're like, oh, well, this is what the kids are wearing nowadays. I'm starting to see this and get it that way. But there's no real informed opinion on your purchase, so you kind of stuck in the mud in the rut. But it's different when you got that Colin Kaepernick ad that drops, or the one with the women athletes that came out early this year, so on and so forth. Like Nike does a great job of actually like marketing themselves and taking stances, things like that. I mean, we might touch on it or whatever, but I'm seeing and reading articles talking about Nike's on their comeback shit. It feels different in the office now. I'm going and talking to Elliot Hill, and like when I went, it wasn't as dry and drab as it was when last buddy was up in there. So like, I mean, they got the money, bro. The World Cup is next year. Their athletes are still winning. Like Nike's going to swing back around. That's not going to happen. But on the other side of those things, not only do people still want those differentiating brands and things like that that actually make a difference out here, but yeah, man, people are fed up by simply like not really being able to vote with their dollar the way that they want to. So that is room for a disruptor brand to come through and like make some shit shake. I've been looking at a lot of like these more emerging like Gen Z brands, quote unquote, that are popping up, and they're really big on something like body positivity, or like they're bright and colorful, like the one little pimple brand that everybody, all the kids be wearing on their face and things like that. Like they whole angle was just being bright, colorful, and like body positive. But that differentiates you from like Nivea or L'Oreal in a big market of skincare. And now you got your angle that you work with. But the thing is, you got to be authentic with it. And a lot of the time, like we've had our rants and all that about these CEOs, they don't be having no vision. They don't be having no balls, bro. They really, and I get it. You're in a tough position as a CEO because you got to make sure that your shareholders are happy. But like the best brands, the one that tend to be the most popular, the ones that get the most sales, all these other things, like it's gonna be really weird seeing. I don't think Netflix has pulled back their strong black lead yet, but like NBC recently has taken down all their like NBC Black, NBC Latino, NBC Asian. Like people are doing this kind of like we're not doing the DEI thing anymore. I'm sure probably so as to not upset Trump and them, and maybe they also are planning on a merger, but these mergers gonna get cracked and broken down again, bro, because they literally just fucking bring everything into these 3-4 little pods, and it's just like a circular economy at the top, and people
Mhm.
don't get upset. There's going to be they gonna make it easy for another disruptor to come through. That's what YouTube TV was, and that's why Disney ain't like them.
Right. Well, you make a really good point of when I look back at we've been alive for a couple of disruptors, and the
Mm-hmm.
disruptors in America politically have come from the Democratic side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, in a lot of ways, I guess Trump was a disruptor, because
Yeah, he was. He was.
he the first time around he called out the establishment. The second
Mm-hmm.
time around he called out the establishment, but then doubled down as a member of the establishment
Right. Right. Right.
and was able to market to people that he wasn't a part of the establishment. And that's how he got those what they call the manosphere,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because he gave them a hook when the Democrats were all sitting on their hands a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were much more polite and not trying to lose their job. And
Mm-hmm.
so they didn't take and say the things that Americans wanted them to say.
Right. 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 Right.
And
Right. Right.
so their narrative just kind of got shifted around. And so to your point, as we're getting approaching midterms next year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Midterms
Yeah.
next year,
It'll be ugly too.
even a Black History Month to that point. What's Black
Yeah.
History Month look like? What does
Right.
Hispanic Heritage Month look like? And what
Mm-hmm.
does Pride Month look like next year?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to have a different Thanksgiving. We're going to have a
Right.
different Christmas. Could this be the first time that America steps into the modern age when the poor white voter stands with the poor black voter, right? Because now it's getting to a point, to your point, to where well nobody's gonna have any jobs because now everybody's shit's just gonna be AI, and it's just gonna be AI working at rallies, and maybe a couple
Mm-hmm.
people doing some burgers and stuff like that. It's gonna get a lot more closer to that, and the lies that they used to say about what's going on, you can't really say those same lies anymore. Like, we
Right.
know for a fact Amazon's getting rid of those jobs. We know for a fact Walmart is downsizing. We know for a fact like there aren't factory jobs and they're doing stuff overseas. And before, it was so much harder to share that information or to have that lived experience if you weren't there for yourself. So like if you maybe lived in a small town, potentially, if I lived in Chicago, I couldn't feel the same effects of that um layoff. But now I feel like these layoffs are nationwide now. And
Oh yeah.
and so, what do we do with that?
That's another thing, bro. When it comes to these layoffs, those are other regulations, like the fact that we're letting AI just run free. I don't know if they actually got that stipulation in that big beautiful bill. Basically, let range for AI regulations for the next decade, but also mandate that states couldn't make their own AI regulations, which is weird, but they already in bed with Trump, so I can see them trying to get as much freedom as they want to. But when you just think about the data centers right now, bro, on top of just like the job, like the lack of jobs that, bro, Amazon is talking about 70% of their workforce in the factories they can probably have automated by 2030. That's a lot of jobs. Like Walmart is still the number one private employer, but Amazon is like a top 3 to 5 like employer out here too in the country as a private employer. That is crazy because on the other side of these things, we don't have. Like, it was a tweet. I think I might have bookmarked it, but bro basically was saying, as much as I see all this talk about efficiency and these companies saving money and firing people so they don't have to spend so much on labor, they're making more money. I have yet to see any announcements of prices getting lower because usually the labor goes into the overall cost of the finished product,
Hello.
and if the labor goes down, so it's like we're in a really, really, really tight space right now. And I mean, just even down to government policies when it comes to basic economics, the fucking interest rate and shit like that. Bro, like if people don't have money, that impacts one, our jobs. If marketing budgets get slashed, we lose jobs. But on top of that, like again, brands and their strategies get disrupted. It was just all about luxury and aspirationalism just a couple of years ago. And now it's about realness, and people don't want you to be doing too much in their face because essentially niggas gonna start hating. They don't like seeing you shining, and it's also inauthentic. They say this the end of the influencer era.
Yeah.
It's all about user generated content and
Community.
authenticity these
Yeah.
days. I'm not trying to watch you just like be an influencer, do nothing for your day to day living, and like go travel all around the world and like club it up. Like that's not a real thing that most people do. But what is popping on the other side for social media for brands right now is giving your workers the phone and access to your channel. So maybe if you're a Starbucks account, you're showing it's like your workers at a particular, like, I don't know, popular Times Square Starbucks location, and they showing it, they doing a get ready with me in the day in the life of their location. Like people are eating that shit up, but I can understand why. It's way more relatable right now, bro. People want to connect to these things, and if people aren't connected to your brand, they can easily fade away. It ain't nothing like having a loyal customer, especially when money's tight.
Hey, you make a really good point. And even what you're talking about Nike, I know we wanted to kind of cover a little bit of complex con and just
Mm-hmm.
we always talking about streetwear and where it is and where it's not and what's going
Mm-hmm.
on with it. I did peep a little bit of complex con in some of the collabs. I feel like collabs don't hit the same anymore. So complex con is very
Agreed.
much so now just another sneaker convention, culture conference, which I think is cool. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
mashups in that way are cool. It's a way for people who are really into that field to just flex and get the shit off, which, I've been a part of that. I think it's fun. I even like the verses.
Right. I didn't get to catch that, but I did hear it was really
It's really
good.
good. You should watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's,
And
it's
it
on
was so
YouTube. It's in my
short
watch list.
that it's like, I think that
Mm-hmm.
I like verses a lot. I think verses is one of the
Mm-hmm.
better programs that we've gotten in the last 15 years, I would say. And when I see, like you said, you talked about Viacom not knowing what to put on TV, it's kind of like, well, it's right
Right.
there. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like, well,
Right.
how do
Right.
you not hire them and let's do white verses? Let's do country verses. Let's do all the verses.
It beats America's Got Talent out. It blows that shit out the
Because
water, bro.
it's built in the authenticity. You know what I'm saying? That to me is a
Hmm.
layup. If you're not like whoever it is, you know what I'm saying? But
Right, right,
I
right,
don't know,
right.
man. It's like I've been watching Stranger Things, getting caught up watching for
Oh, that's right. It's like the series finale is
yeah,
around now,
yeah.
isn't it?
No, the
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
26th of November is when
okay,
they
okay,
doing it in like in parts, like
okay,
Christmas, then the
okay.
day after Christmas, and then it's another one, something like that or whatever.
Damn. Yeah, yeah,
But saying
yeah,
that to
yeah.
say, like, it's very much so in the 80s, small town, big mall shows up, kills mom and pops,
Hmm.
commercialism, all the things. And it feels like we're in
Hmm.
very much so a decay of that culture. Whatever culture
Yeah,
was rooted in the 80s, late 70s, especially with the birth of hip hop,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
like in the decay of that in the mainstream, which is probably a really good thing for the genre in itself.
Hmm. Just one quick tidbit. I don't want you to lose your thought, but that's also what a lot of the time when MAGA is referenced, it's that era. That was kind of that American like heyday post World War II, right before Reagan and them let Wall Street do whatever and started outsourcing all the jobs and labor and running it up on the stock market. That was that pinnacle thing, mom and pop shops. Maybe it had a mall, but like it didn't kill jobs yet. Walmart didn't blow up
Hmm.
yet because that's the other
Hmm.
killer. But as you were, my
But no,
bad.
it's ironic. You know what I'm saying? That we
Exactly.
bringing this ideology back around, watching over like the
Mhm.
body of American culture. Basically, it's the corpse of American culture, and
Right.
all these people are rushing to AI. To your point, in real life, so they can use it for war. These countries aren't
Mhm.
rushing for AI so that they can make the car wash better or to make
Right. You see that Sauce
you know what I'm
Pastor.
saying? That's what they're really using it for. And, and
Right,
and
right.
now to your point, I was just telling a friend like it feels like we got on the internet and shared real life on the internet. And then you have Gen
Mhm.
Z and probably Gen Alpha who is only getting their influences from the internet.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's creating a snake eating itself type of situation. And I just don't know
Mhm.
if we get back to a life without smartphones, which I don't think is realistic anymore. But
Yeah.
how do we assimilate and bring some type of normalcy with life with social media?
Right,
And
right,
brands
right.
kind of fell in love with social media. Now they have to figure out how to re-engage and interact with people. But I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't think that there is one way. And for us, it's just like our career trajectory kind of really just going all over the
Right,
place.
right. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like maybe that sweet spot is like for I guess even for black folk like that 70s, it kind of was the 70s 80s if you was able to like kind of go to college or like go to Vietnam and come back and get your GI Bill and a house and like you came up in that era because at least like there was consistency in the technology. Like yeah, maybe like the adoption of like cable was a thing and like you get a color TV and the microwaves got a little better and the cars got a little more
Right.
efficient for like 70s 80s 90s. But after the internet came around, like I don't see us really going back with to
Mm-hmm.
non-smartphones. I am like just me on my strategy shit. I'm peeping these articles and these trend reports of like dumb phones being popping again, especially amongst young people. I've also just read an article recently talking about young people like finding ways to hack older home phones for cell phone usage. So like there is, and I don't know if it's kind of like their infatuation with Y2K
Right.
technology that's driving it, or it's the fact because it's a lot of studies out there as well that actually show young people are actually kind of declining on social media usage. It's still high, but it is on the decline. They're also kind of like just over it and they're doing a lot more intentional shit like going monk mode and just being like logged out for a week or two or whatever to lock in and like just recalibrate all the way to kind of like actually just getting back on their community shit. Like they are doing more hangouts and things like that and trying to be
Mm-hmm.
offline. It's just so much of the media that we consume now and our social lives are still entrenched through social media apps that
Can't escape
if
it.
you ain't got no, motherfucker think you crazy or a creep or some shit if you don't got no Facebook or no Instagram or no
Snapchat,
Snap or no
Twitter.
like Nothing? Like, damn, that's crazy. And I know a couple people that's like that. One of my best friends, well, he got a Facebook, so he's not super freaked out. But like Elliot ain't got shit. He literally is no IGE Clay when we
Yeah.
post them. And it's like, I feel it. And I know he got a family. He was an engineer locked in, but also earlier on when these things were popping up, he was just kind of like, I don't know, it's not really my thing. I get the Facebook component because we kind of grew up with this a way to stay connected with friends and family. But like, posting a bunch of pictures just cuz and all this other stuff that goes, it just was too much to be keeping
Yeah.
up with. And I think well, actually, no, it's not even a thing. I've seen the studies that show that all of that content overload is a part of what's making us more anxious and stressed out and depressed and feeling isolated. It's not fully like this weird, like incel young man, like kind of fucking epidemic going on, male loneliness epidemic going on, just inherently. Like that's a causation that came from that. And a lot of that is, I mean, even just the way that young boys play, we socialize through video games and shit like that. We did when we were younger. But now games are online. There aren't arcades in the mall that you can go to and hang out and do those particular things anymore. And then when there are arcade bars, they're bars for adults, and niggas is just like, they're more props. They really are slinging drinks. It's not
Right.
like to push gaming culture and community
Right.
forward 9 times out of 10. So, like, it's the whole like kind of quest for the third space. And the third space, as we mentioned in an episode recently, it is online right now. I don't know how sustainable that is, though. I do feel like we will reach a day of some sort of equilibrium. I don't think it's not for nothing beyond just, I think it's beyond aesthetic appeal that young people are like into vinyl. Like Gen Z's keeping the vinyl shit booming. Like they're selling over $1 billion worth of vinyl nowadays. Like VHS is booming. Like physical media is having a resurgence. It hasn't trickled all the way over into the mainstream yet, but then you'll get someone like a Chance the Rapper who's not fully mainstream, but he's semi-mainstream. He a host on NBC and got a Grammy and shit like that. And he puts out a physical CD, but then you just touch your phone on it, and then you can get the actual album like in the digital world as well. It's something there. And I think we're in a space of like invention and like trying to figure out how to bring some more of these older things forward. Like there's also an independent magazine renaissance, and zines are popping back up again. So print media feels like it might have a little
You
bit
know
of
what?
hope. So
Even when you talk about like people being into physical media, I think it's kind of what we're talking about with the TV, that like these corporations were so thirsty to sell us something that they outsmarted themselves.
I
That
like that.
like
I like that a lot.
when we were coming up, like let's say like 05, there was no streaming. So even if you wanted to buy an album digitally, you bought it from the iTunes store. There was nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that model. Streaming did not need to exist. If you wanted Kendrick Lamar's new album, go buy it for $15
Right.
online, and everybody would do that still. Who are Kendrick Lamar fans? I'm not even. You're not a Drake fan. I'm a Drake fan. You know what I'm saying? Every album, if he would have dropped, I would. He's missing $70 from me easily $120. I
Right.
would have
Right.
bought
Right.
every.
Right.
It's not a CD he hasn't put out. I wouldn't have bought just from being a Drake fan.
Right.
I liked it or
Right.
disliked it.
Exactly.
Now at that point, you know how it is. You start collecting. You just become a collector. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when you're forcing people to listen to music on your own time, I think what we're finding is that like that's not how people listen to music.
Right.
That's not how
Right.
people
Right.
want to watch
Right.
their favorite movie. They want to watch their favorite movie when they want to watch their favorite movie, not for $8 when you say I can watch it and then it's got to be ads. So that's why DVDs are
Right.
never going
Right.
to go
Right.
anywhere, because I'm a mom and I need to watch Cars everywhere I go. Give this little nigga the DVD and we good. Let me download it. And we good.
Right. 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 Don't have to worry about Wi-Fi connection while you're on your
Wi-Fi,
road trip.
I gotta have this, I gotta have that. It's too much. And
Right.
yeah,
Right.
and that's,
Right.
I think that's really all it is. I think that people have started to make platforms for independent artists, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Music fall into that, because even as an artist that doesn't have to be signed to a label, I'm able to participate and have my music on the same platform as the biggest artists in the world. So I get there's money to be made, but to me they smarted themselves out. and now they've created a hole for themselves that they're going to force the artists to dig themselves out of. And the average consumer just doesn't have enough knowledge to care and push back and not buy it and force them into a system that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the thing, bro. Like, people don't really feel shit until their pockets start to tell them that they need to be feeling it, and it's too late. Especially like in the streaming war situation, it's too late. So now everybody's complaining about it, but that's why I put so much of the emphasis on like these executives lack vision, short term gains, and thinking about, oh, okay, well, Netflix is a disruptor, Spotify is a disruptor, they're really killing it. They're taking away from us. How we need to do what they doing so we can at least like get some of our shit back, or like get some of what they actually making. They owe us that money or whatever. Yada yada yada. Like, bro, even with this Disney, ESPN, and YouTube TV situation. Like, I remember a couple years ago when Disney tried to strong arm Netflix and was like, nah, we about to get our own platform and have our shit over there. Y'all can pay extra whenever you need some other shit, but we gonna have our own stuff. And Disney, of course, has the IP, but like, Disney is such a family brand, bro. Like, that's a big, like, I don't actually like their catalog of stuff. That I'm not a heavy Marvel person. The thing that I would be over there for is truly ESPN and the occasional documentary I might want to watch, or a random movie from time to time. But I don't have a family. I'm not watching Disney films because I don't have no kids to just be watching traditional Disney movies with. And if you look around, a lot of fucking millennials don't have kids these
Right.
days. We're waiting to have them longer for, whatever reason, many not at all. But like, looking at those, I guess that's kind of the point of having a good strategist around to be able to think of those things, because that's seeing the holes in the data and insights and trying to figure out how to connect those dots, as opposed to like worrying about being in recovery mode so fucking Netflix don't keep taking our streaming money. It's like, all right, man, everything goes in a cycle. There's going to be a pendulum swing. What are the three kind of ways in for like what it looks like on the other end of this tunnel? Because now we get into the other end of this tunnel, and shit is like fragmented. It's a little consolidation, but essentially all the big media houses own their own like streaming, like omni-channel
They're
pipeline. Like, every
distributors.
brand.
To your point, they became distributors instead of relying on YouTube TV,
Exactly.
Spectrum, Comcast,
Queen,
DirecTV.
motherfucking AT&T
No, but
Universe. We had some shit out
DirecTV, who
there.
bought, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, and Netflix. To be honest,
yeah,
Netflix
yeah, yeah.
presented itself as a distributor and also an original,
Especially early on.
especially
Yeah,
an
yeah.
original content maker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
And I don't know
mm-hmm,
what it was that made those people take their stuff off of on demand
mm-hmm,
and not just add it to YouTube and or Netflix. Because for instance, The Breakfast Club is on Twitch now,
mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, really? That's how they got it. I was thinking in my head, like, that should do it
They're
on
on
Twitch too.
Twitch.
Why not?
If
That's
you're
smart.
the
That's
if you're
smart.
the late night show, right? How
Mm-hmm.
are you not on YouTube going live?
Exactly.
Now, what do you say?
Exactly.
You say, "Oh, I got to pay the $2.99." You want them to pay $3.99 so you can get every single crumb. Okay, we'll do it. People might doing it,
Right,
but
right,
if
right,
you're
right.
the whole point of TV was that you want to be where people's eyeballs are. People's eyeballs have
Mm-hmm.
moved to
Mm-hmm.
different distributors. Be where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Kimmel should be
Right.
on Twitch.
Yeah, they're trying to pull the consumer nowadays and strong arm and Bogart niggas into their particular thing, and because of the fragmentation. Like, Disney has some stuff that people are willing to pay for. So now you have to sit up there and like do your cost analysis about like which platform is worth as
Mm-hmm.
much, because everybody is not about to be spending $25 for Netflix, $35 for Disney, 80-90 bucks for YouTube, fucking like all these different things going on. HBO Max, they might get acquired by Netflix or whatever, so we'll see what that look like. Netflix, I mean, I already have, my family got the Netflix, I use my people's, but they use my HBO. And it's like, all right, if they get bought up by Netflix, we all on Netflix. I
But
damn near
see, to
cover
your
that
point
bill
though,
cheap.
when you got a cable provider, I got Spectrum, I get Peacock,
Mm-hmm.
Paramount, HBO, Disney Plus, the
Mm-hmm.
Fox one, ESPN, AMC.
They got the Fox streaming app too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying on
Oh wow.
Spectrum.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, which is Disney Plus is Hulu and all that other stuff. Like, That's what I'm saying. It's just
Mhm.
basically on demand. I just have to go to their app to watch the shit on demand.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
like, I guess.
You what who's really who needs the $1 million bonus? Because I'm not enjoying because of so many apps. I don't always love my like TV viewing experience. I wish it was on cable where I could just go previous channel. Bouncing from app to app blows the fuck out of me when it's like hella good stuff
At
going on
one
at once. And
time,
I'm kind of better. Yeah, yeah, I do like how YouTube TV there lets you do the 4 different channels at once. That the multi-view, that shit is sick. I'm happy that they did that. But bouncing from like Peacock on a Thursday night to go over to Amazon to watch Thursday night football at the same time. And then if it was baseball season, maybe the World Series on at the same time, and I got to go to my YouTube. Like whoever designs the new like smart TV remote control to like
have
have a
each app
better like
open.
bounce around like experience. Oh yeah, cut that nigga a million or that lady. I don't even know. It ain't even matter.
That's real.
The nigga is genderless.
That's
Nigga.
real. That's
Like,
real.
nigga is
And they probably
genderless.
won't. They
But I
probably
think it's
won't.
too much friction with the
Yeah.
shit now. That's the thing. It's just too much friction with it. On top of like people are not satisfied. You don't get all of the content, so it's not like if I'm paying for it, I can't even watch like Taxi Cab Confessions is sometimes be on HBO. That shit used to be great fucking sociology, like commentary and shit like
Hmm.
that. And we was younger. That was also a little racy and edgy and shit, but like it was a good show. It's not always on there though. Real Sex got taken down when they did the big expansion or whatever. So some of the adult
Cartoon
content got
Network.
taken down. They be taken down exactly a lot of the other stuff that they even bought and acquired. And I'm like, you own it, bro. Like, what's the point of not just having it up there when you own it? What difference does it
And to me,
make?
it feels like it would make millions of dollars. They own it and they
Yeah.
put it on just YouTube.
Oh, for sure, for
Like
sure,
people would
for sure.
watch it.
Those views will just like
They'll get
steamroll.
ads.
Even if you're making 50,000 a month, just
People
over
are going
time,
to
you buy.
watch it, bro. And that's the new way. It's
Yeah,
segmented, but you got to go to where the people are. You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying?
So I think kind of how we're talking about this. That's part of what I wanted to maybe like delve into a little bit about the complex con
Okay.
thing with you before we get up out of here or whatever. I feel like they control too much of the market from a media perspective. I don't know how influential they are. I've had my questions about that for some years now and even some episodes. But when they are the biggest platform for kind of like quote unquote like youth media and like passions and interests, like they are the one. Like Complex is a big one, and all their different channels. It'd be regular Complex, got millions of followers, Complex Music, Complex Sports, Complex Sneakers, Complex Music, Complex Pop. They got all these different like channels broken down up underneath it. I don't shout out to the current editor over there, Aria Hughes. I think she's doing a good job so far being in that position over at Complex. So no knock at her. And I'm feeling like I'm kind of starting to see some of what the vision might be moving forward under her helm. But the brand itself has ballooned into this big kind of like general market like channel for what quote unquote young people think is cool now,
Mhm.
where they opinions don't really matter because they just throw it's like content slop. Like, oh well, this is a new sneaker news thing. And like nobody hates shit. I know it was a controversy off for like so many of those shoes on sneaker of the year being Nike shoes this year, while Nike also is had a pop up at the damn Complex Con. Nike employees were on the ground meeting people, talking about you can maybe get a job with us. So it's a lot of like random kind of conflict of interest conversation happening in the sneaker community too. But like, I don't know if I like them being the only ones, bro. I think we kind of need to break them up
I
too.
don't know if they're the only ones. I think it's sort of a thing of like you got to go out and find those independent creators. It's kind of like music. If
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying that to say like the reason it feels that way is because it feels like a lot of the black owned media outlets are either now not they're in between too many different segments. So like to me,
Mhm.
Essence could be in on the streetwear conversation.
Yeah, it's at least at Essence Fest, a little
They're
streetwear
not
corner
though.
over there. Yeah,
They're
that'd
not
be
though.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I haven't. I mean, we follow the streetwear brands. They haven't
yeah,
done the
yeah,
Essence
yeah.
testing, and they're at that age. A lot of
Right,
those brand owners.
exactly, exactly.
I don't see Ebony. haven't done a spread on Joe Fresh Goods,
Right. Exactly.
or Tremaine, or and so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's kind of what I'm saying, is that like you have a little bit of legacy media that has not encroached in on this new landscape of culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a lot of these new media are social media pages ran by non-black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so to your point, Complex Con seems like the realest or the biggest voice for sure, because they have the most people working for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's just I think it's just genuinely that it's just the most people work there, and
Mm-hmm.
so there's more people. It's more to respond to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that the sneaker of the year conversation, even that thought, is somewhat corny, in my
Really?
opinion.
You don't like the idea of a sneaker of the year?
No, because it doesn't exist.
Why you say that?
Because I would bet half of them are old silhouettes. So, for
Oh
instance,
yeah, yeah. That's a
so for instance,
conversation
you say
within the
sneaker of the
conversation.
year, sneaker of the year is a version of the Air Force One. It's like,
Right, right, right,
I
right, right, right.
guess, I guess, bro. You know what
We're
I'm saying?
not putting out that many new silhouettes, and definitely not ones that pop over into the culture either.
And
I'm
so
not
there's,
mad at old silhouettes and things like that,
I
but
love
I
all the sneakers.
understand niggas
No,
bringing that
I
up.
love all the sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to say what should and should not be released. I love everything. I hope they release
Mm-hmm.
every. They should put everything out all at once. That's how I actually feel.
Type shit.
Because
Type
if you
shit.
fly, because if you fly, you're fly, and if you're not, you're not. Nobody gives a fuck
Not
what you're wearing anywhere. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? And for the people who just want to collect them, they're not even wearing the shoes.
Right, 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 right,
So
right.
I'm not mad at people talking about, damn, what was the hottest collab? What was your favorite sneaker that came out this year? What was good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the actual idea now of there being a sneaker of the year, it does
Mm-hmm.
not exist anymore in that way.
Hmm.
When you can just go to Brentwood to the resale shop and buy the sneaker. Right.
Right.
Part of the sneaker, just like with music, just like with movies. Part of what made a movie tight is that you had to go to the Esquire on 7 o'clock on
Right, right,
Friday and
right,
sit
right.
next
And
to
go
the TV you
watch it
didn't know
and
and
be a part of it.
experience the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is what part of what made movies tight. Movies aren't as tight if you're just watching them on your little shitty TV that we don't know if it's even a good TV for you to
Right,
experience
right,
this movie.
right, right. Your
Or if your
view
kids were
experience
quiet,
that definitely makes it
or if your speaker works. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Or if you
Like,
was paying attention and not on your phone, because
I
you
don't
got to
even know
put
if you
your
were
phone
paying
down in the
attention to this
movies.
movie.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly.
So I think that, like, yes, it's cool for Complex to continue to platform certain people who really do care about the community, people who are gatekeeping in, which I'm all for that, and the
Mm-hmm.
brands making this tight stuff, but it's all niche. It's all who
Mm-hmm.
is for. It's all who is for. There are no more consensus winners, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why there's no music in the Billboard for hip hop anymore,
Mm-hmm.
because there are no more consensus winners. None of the women are going to say they're the best rapper anymore, because they're gonna take the stance of, well, there's enough of us you can listen to. You
Yeah,
don't
and
have
they
to.
literally all
Dochi's gonna
equal
say,
too.
you don't have to listen to me. You can listen to Meg and still get some good. No, Dochi's not gonna say I'm the best female rapper. Fuck them other hoes.
Right, 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 right,
Which is
right.
what people forgot, is what made rap fun, because Nas was like, damn, he said he's the best rapper, and Biggie out, and Jay-Z out, and Tupac is out, and all these other people are out. That's crazy for him to say that. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it was
Mm-hmm.
entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if Lil
Mm-hmm.
Baby is just gonna be like, well, we all the tight rappers from Atlanta. That's why we like T.I., because he was like, I'm the best rapper in the
Right.
whole South.
South. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
whole
yeah. Now
South.
do something about it. You beefing with a nigga from Houston.
Niggas in Florida are upset, niggas in North Carolina are
Literally
upset.
going to his hood.
You know what I'm
Taking
saying?
over. Yeah,
So
well,
with that, I think it just kind of has watered it down. And
yeah, yeah,
so it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like corporate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Corporate.
so you definitely touched very similar on like what I was thinking of, because I do agree with you. I'm When I say the only one, I definitely meant as far as them being like they're the biggest by far. Like they're
I
the
know what you
only.
meant. I know what
Yeah,
you meant.
yeah, yeah,
I know what
yeah.
you meant.
So it's like it's that thing of a platform, and it's still like, I mean, having worked with them or whatever, like I know that the account that I was working on was like, oh, we were on Complex. And it's like, that's tight, because we're gonna get the visibility, and like they used to be able to give you like some cool points. I don't think that they're in the position anymore as like true tastemakers to give somebody that cool point notion or whatever. And then also like kind of with the competition thing that you were talking about, it's one of them situations where it's like it's so big, like bro, it's 8 billion people in the world. When I don't know, we'll just use Meg because you mentioned Meg. Let's just say Meg got 15 million followers. I don't know if that's true or not. That is a drop in the bucket as far as on a percentage scale of like how many people globally, and she's a global star. Like she can literally tour all over the world and perform. She has, you know, it's still such a small. You got 30,000 people that you're performing of in front of in an arena. That is a drop in the bucket out of a million. So like we really at this point now where like you can, yeah, it's very niche and like it's all these different like pockets and these different like fragmented segmentation type of situations. And I I kind of miss the mainstream. I'm not going. I think that's kind of my thing. I
Hmm.
don't want the underground to go away, but I just wish that niggas that didn't really belong where they are sometimes could just go be where like the normies are.
You know, I can give you the answer to this in terms of music.
What's up?
Um, and generally, pop music is what actual genre?
Mm-hmm.
Pop music usually is is rhythm and blues,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And so when you make pop music so that you don't have to put white artists in the rhythm and blues section, because as white corporations, you already deemed rhythm and blues as black music.
Right.
So inherently, it feels weird to put Britney Spears in rhythm and blues because
Mm-hmm.
that's what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Mm-hmm.
singing over Justin Timberlake and them are singing rhythm and blues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The European
Every
producers and songwriters was all R&B and
they're doing
gospel
rhythm and blues.
influenced.
George
Yeah,
Michael
yeah, yeah.
was in a group called Wham. He sang when he came out.
That's
He
Blue
didn't
Eye
come out in
Soul
pop.
from him.
He came out as rhythm and blues.
Mm-hmm.
And so when rap became the number one thing, and
Mm-hmm.
then white rhythm and blues kind of fell off, there's
Mm-hmm.
no place for the white singer. And so that's why more recently the country star has had to use
Yeah,
trap
yeah, yeah.
drums because he has to align
Mm-hmm.
himself close to a rapper because singers aren't
Mm-hmm.
cool anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so it has a trickle down effect now that there is no place for anybody because pop doesn't exist.
Right, right. Not in the way at least that we thought about it growing up. I will say I think pop is kind of
No, no,
transferred
no.
over to
What I'm
kind of
saying
like
is,
dance music nowadays
I'm
though.
saying literally, King Michael Jackson was the king of popularity, but he sang
Oh yeah,
rhythm and
yeah, yeah,
blues.
yeah, yeah,
If you
yeah.
try to come out with an artist and make pop music,
Mm-hmm.
even if you look at the traditional big white acts, they were singing black songs usually. If they were a
Mm-hmm.
white artist, they were, to your point,
Mm-hmm.
mimicking. They David Bowie knew the black artist to mimic or to
Yeah.
call to
Shout out
help him
DB though. But yeah.
because rock and roll is just sped up rhythm and blues. Rock and roll is just rhythm and blues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
saying that to say it started a trickle down effect in everything in mainstream, what you considering pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, because you don't have movie houses anymore that make a B grade movie because they need it to go number one because they're in streaming, well,
Right.
you lose American Pie.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Mm-hmm.
take the risk and make a raunchy teen comedy because
Right.
you need all the everything, so you lose American Pie.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
lose all these little bitty things that people were actually the cornerstones of their personality. The
Yes.
cornerstone of me and my
Yes.
friend's personality was super bad.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
core. Now
Yeah.
our personality would have to be if we were a high schooler, Minecraft, or it would have to be right, like it would be tied
He's
to the
not lying.
gaming,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
He's
what
not
that's
lying.
what you would be into, and to your point, or you have to be into Playboy Cardi
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. And we know Playboy Cardi is not mainstream.
Right. Right. Right.
He's not
He's a
making
big artist, but he is not
he's
a
not making
mainstream
music.
artist. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
almost like
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? To where it's like you were being anti-establishment to like Marilyn Manson because you
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
like Britney
Yeah.
Spears, you didn't want to like NSYNC. But
Mm-hmm.
it was oddly enough to like NSYNC and Britney Spears, you actually were still liking good quality music.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just didn't know it at the time. Because we were using these black songwriters doing all these other things. We stopped paying them, and it created this trickle down effect. So now at the movies, I went to go see the PTA movie with Tiana Taylor. Another
Oh, the joint was it like
one
Leonardo
battle after
DiCaprio
another.
and all of that? Yeah,
One
yeah.
battle after
Okay.
another. I went to go see that. Great movie.
Okay.
I saw Sinners,
Okay.
original IP, great movies at
Mm-hmm.
the movies. I saw F1, great
Mm-hmm.
movie at the movies. But even those movies, okay, you got PTA. So he's the cool white person that gets to make a cool movie. That's one out of a million.
Right.
F1 was Warner Brothers and Apple. So this is a big conglomerate. And even
Mm-hmm.
still with that, F1 is an intellectual property in that way. It's like if somebody came
Yeah.
out with NBA. Well,
Right,
yeah,
right,
I'm gonna
right,
go
right,
see
right, right,
NBA. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
You're
Like
not gonna go see that shit. Yeah.
then Sinners, you have to have the biggest black director and arguably the biggest black male actor
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
for it to be considered. You know what I'm saying? So I think the mainstream got squeezed out by stock market, by board of directors,
Mm.
and you can't. Who's gonna sign Britney Spears to make her comeback album like how we experienced Madonna when we were in high
Right,
school?
right. Yeah,
Madonna
yeah,
dropped when we were in
yeah.
high school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No Universal, Interscope, they wouldn't take the risk on her to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so that is the mainstream. Millennials still run the game. We still run culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not gonna dive back into that, Brandy, Monica going back on their tour, Keisha Cole, Love, that song being big to Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Right. Yeah, I'd be like, the kids be singing that shit like they been in
That's
love
rhythm
before.
and blues. That's rhythm and blues. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can
Like,
feel it though, for sure.
and so when you stop telling that history and you disconnect, like white parents so much like disconnected their kids to like black culture in that way that
Mm-hmm.
they can't go back. Young white kids now would love Jay-Z,
Oh yeah, for sure.
but
Learn hard knock life back real quick. They
but
eat that shit up.
because they've been told that black culture, they can only consume black culture in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might be smart enough to consume Kendrick and Playboy Cardi,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them aren't
Yeah.
because of the nuance. You know what I'm saying? And so it's creating this like there's, to your point, the mainstream was just the middle. There is no middle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're either a socialist, you love Beyonce,
Right.
or you're like
Capitalist,
you're
fucking
the,
conservative and into
and
Taylor
you
Swift.
love Taylor Swift, and
Yeah.
there's no middle ground.
It's very tough. You don't find them nowhere. And usually when you do see a person that like both, the both sides of them look like, you sure about that?
I have yet to meet a person that loves Beyonce and Taylor Swift. I don't know them. I'm sure they exist.
I won't say love, but I do. I've seen people who have gone to like both concerts and singing their ass. I know
They,
everybody love Beyonce. I don't know if they love Taylor Swift, but they was definitely in that bitch having a good ass time.
you
I'm
know what I'm
like, damn,
saying?
I just learned something new about you watching your story.
And I appreciate that. I know like
Right.
3 Taylor Swift songs they come on from her early part of her
Mhm.
career.
She got some bops. She got a couple of them in
You
her.
know what I mean? So yeah, man, the middle of it, it's gone, and I don't think that I personally don't think
Mhm.
that it's coming back. I think that we're moving into a society
Of
of
polarization.
of
Yeah.
polarization, and we can't really go back. So you're all or nothing. I think the nuance consumption is kind of dead. I just don't see it
It's
coming back.
yeah, no, I feel I maybe it's just me. I know I'm kind of like an eternal optimist. I will never say it's never coming back because I think these things have an interesting way of kind of like working themselves out sometimes on their own,
Mhm.
either through like by way of bad business and like somebody comes through and disrupts some shit and unifies, or like people actually just kind of go like niggas can't be luxury right now. We not spending hellas on designer because like niggas is fucked up. So like these cycles kind of happen. We're not going to go back to a pre-internet world. Smartphones are way too like good of a tool to actually use. Like it's a good piece of technology from a functional standpoint. So I don't necessarily see that, but maybe like my girl got me a damn. It's a gag. If I really do, I should. I probably do it when niggas move or whatever. But I have a phone, like a cordless phone. I want to get a landline. She got it to me because I was jokingly, not even jokingly, I was seriously saying like,
Yeah.
it was a gag gift from her. But I was like, yeah, I wish I could because I will go D&D at like 7, 8, and
And
like
call me,
my
nigga.
family, y'all, like my niggas and shit. Like, yeah, you could call me if you really need me. My closest of kit and kin can like hit my line, but like I'm checked out at a certain point. I can see people doing it. I think also sometimes because we live in America where this shit is like so rampant and like this capitalism shit like beats down our necks like on a day-to-day basis, we forget that we are not the entire world. Niggas in Europe is over there with dumb phones and flip phones still. And
Literally.
like doing whatever shitty Wi-Fi, bathrooms that don't have the motherfucking sink in the same room as the toilet, shit like that. Which respect and love for, but just saying that like niggas don't all like live how we live. And on some like economic shit, bro, like dead ass, we might have to kind of start giving up some of our like big American privileges in order for us, if we really serious about trying to heal this society and fix politics and look out for people with jobs and shit. Pay cuts are going to have to happen for CEOs. I ain't gonna say for workers because it shouldn't happen for us, but we're going to have to make some sort of compromises in order to be able to like share things in order for equitable like prosperity to occur in America. And I think next year and really like in that election in 2028, when Buddy gonna try to probably go for a third term or try to like slide Vance in there, and all this other weird shit is about to happen and corruption and so on and so forth. I think the American people are really gonna have to have, and big business and where we work and have clients for and all this other shit. We gotta actually, we can't keep kicking the can the same way they do with like the fucking debt ceiling all the time and keep kicking that can down. We can't keep kicking that down forever. We also can't keep kicking down the can of like actually figuring out what to do with this society. Because other than that, we gonna be speaking Mandarin Chinese before we on our deathbed, bro. Xi Jinping got this shit going crazy. Chinese century is on its way, brother.
Hey, I'm already good in China, so I got somewhere to go.
It's true.
I got somewhere to
True.
go. They
Yeah.
if China take over, I got a couple niggas to call. You know what I'm
Fuck
saying?
with me. Fuck with me. I got the egg foo young
Hey,
recipe
bro,
on
put me in the
deck.
province. Throw me in the province.
Goddamn
Throw me
me.
in the cut. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, yeah,
that's
but
super cool.
yeah, man, I'm excited for. I don't know, maybe this is season two. We want to just call it season two. Fuck
Yeah,
it,
let's just start. Let's just
we'll
start at
call
season
it
two
season
because at
two.
the top of our note is
Yeah,
actually we started our note and it said November 1st, 2024.
oh, that's crazy because I know we did our episode right before the election. So that's perfect. Look at that divine timing,
Season
right
two.
after
So
birthdays and everything.
we
So yeah,
started season two.
we got a lot on the way, y'all. We got guests coming soon. We got some deep dives coming. About to start giving y'all some more insights. I got the case studies on deck to drop a couple dimes on y'all here and there. So
Yes.
yeah, we got some shit on the way, man. And as you know, it's like dead swing of holiday season, sports, TV, media, marketing, mergers and acquisitions.
We're
It's
definitely
got a
gonna have a
lot of
big Super Bowl episode for sure.
oh yeah, no, for sure. We damn near might go live for that one. Fuck it.
We damn near should go live for the Super Bowl.
Watching Wild Black.
All right, we damn near going live for the Super
Do a
Bowl, man.
crossover episode. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, no, thanks for everybody that's been rocking with us, man. The IG is going up consistently. The YouTube is giving us some decent numbers. We're gonna keep growing, staying consistent. One love.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Stay black, stay chill, stay trill, stay peaceful, all that good
Stay
shit. We'll holler
building.
at y'all. Peace.
Peace.